Hi guys, today we're going to be helping you decarb CBD flowers, whatever that means, right? Well, the world of CBD is getting bigger and more popular day by day. The cannabis plant and all its benefits is finally being welcomed with open arms by some sections of the planet. Although the UK government doesn't have the most progressive cannabis laws, they have even begun to sell CBD products in high street shops and hipster cafes. Have you ever tried a CBD vanilla latte? It's unbelievably tasty. It tastes like progress. But anyway, anyone with even a teeny bit of weed knowledge will know that before you enjoy your bud, you need to heat it up. This is called decarboxylation, otherwise known as decarbing. Today, we're going to be looking at how to do that and more specifically, how to decarb CBD flower. Let's go. So first of all, what even is CBD flower? Well, to put it simply, flower is just another word for bud in this case, and CBD flower is just a weed bud with a high percentage of CBD and a low percentage of THC. Although if you placed it in your hand, you wouldn't know the difference between it and some skunky, anxious fueling lemon haze. They both look green and beautiful. Also, if you aren't familiar with CBD and THC, we have recently made a video where we go into more detail about the technicalities, so definitely check that out. But for now, I'll just give you a little summary, and to sum it up, CBD gives you all the benefits that you get from cannabis, but without that high, whereas THC is what gives you the high, and I will talk about this a bit more in a moment. Going back to what I was talking about, let's be a little more specific. A more scientific answer would be this. CBD flowers contain no more than 0.3% THC and around 20% or more CBD. CBD flowers are bred specifically to have this percentage ratio. Like all buds, CBD flower is just dried out cannabis. CBD flower can be smoked, dry herb vape, drank or eaten. The possibilities are endless. So, what's the difference? Although they may look similar, CBD buds and THC buds have very different effects. If you don't already know, here is a quick summary of those differences. THC and CBD are the two most prominent and spoken about cannabinoids within the cannabis plant. THC is a psychoactive substance, which means it has mind-altering effects. That is why THC is responsible for the common high that people get when they take high THC cannabis. This high usually makes people feel euphoric and heightens the senses. CBD, on the other hand, does not have these effects. CBD is not psychoactive and therefore does not have mind-altering effects. Instead, CBD has been found to have medicinal benefits. CBD has been known to assist with a variety of health problems. Some of those health problems it is known to help with are anxiety, depression, PTSD, sleep deprivation, chronic pain, cancer symptoms, and Tourette's. So the next question you might be wondering is, are CBD flowers legal? Well, as is always the case with cannabis laws, it depends on where in the world you are talking about. In the UK, CBD flowers are surprisingly illegal. CBD products, on the other hand, such as edibles, creams, and oils, are all legal in the UK, but any cannabis bud is simply illegal, regardless of the amount of CBD or THC. There's little reason for why this is the case, and it makes almost no sense. The cannabis plant is illegal, so therefore anything even slightly resembling it is also illegal. Often websites won't inform you of this, so be careful when purchasing CBD flowers from specific sites. However, in the USA, under the 2018 Farm Bill, as long as bud contains less than 0.3% THC, then CBD flower is legal. This seems like a more reasonable stance on cannabis legality. Before we move on to how to decarb a CBD flower, let's first understand what decarboxylation actually is. Decarboxylation is a process that activates compounds in cannabis, like THC and CBD. Before CBD is heated, it is a different substance called CBDa. This substance does not have the same effects as CBD. This is the same with THCa and THC. A dry bud before being heated is inactive. So if you ever tried to eat dry buds as a teenager and wondered why it didn't have any effects, this is why. In fact, eating your cannabis buds without decarboxylation is a huge waste. Imagine putting popcorn kernels in a microwave. When they heat up, they pop and become popcorn, which you can eat. But before that, they are just hard, cold kernels. This is a great analogy for decarbing cannabis. So to simplify it, take a look at this. THC equals THCa plus heat. CBD equals CBDa plus heat. Decarboxylation in cannabis is a 2,500-year-old process. Archaeologists actually found traces of cannabis in Chinese artifacts from that time. It's crazy to imagine that before science, people would have known to heat up cannabis to unlock the beautiful effects. Decarboxylation is the process of heating cannabis which triggers a reaction that activates the cannabis compounds. Now, there are different ways of causing this activation. These are the three main examples. Smoking is the most obvious form of decarboxylation. The cannabis is usually burned at around 900 degrees, which unlocks the cannabis very quickly. However, the heat levels are so extreme that it can sometimes lose some of its purity and flower. A dry herb vaporizer is like a futuristic and more healthy version of a joint. Dry herb vapes don't burn cannabis, but instead they heat it up and turn it into vapor, which is then inhaled. The cannabis is heated at a temperature of around 200 degrees and maintains a lot of the flower and intensity due to the low levels of heat. Cannabis can also be decarbed by putting it in an oven to be cooked. This form of decarboxylation is the one that we're going to be focusing on today because it's the most technical, and it's the one that allows the cannabis to be eaten and used in recipes, not only inhaled. So now that you understand what CBD flower is and the concept of decarboxylation, let's take a look at how to actually decarb CBD flower. As previously mentioned, this is the cooking method. With this technique, you'll be able to put your Decarb CBD flower in any recipe you like. I'll go through the different steps. So for step 1, preheat your oven to 120 degrees Celsius. Step 2, evenly break up your bud. You can grind it if you like, but only a little. Make sure it's nice, small and even, but not powdery at all. Step 3, get a baking tray and some baking parchment paper. Place the paper on the tray first and then spread the ground CBD flower across the paper. Step 4, put the tray in the oven. And step 5, bake the CBD flower for any time between 25 and 50 minutes. Keep a close eye on it though, as you don't want it to burn or overcook. It should be a nice golden brown colour and very dry. Step 6, remove from the oven when the time is up and let it cool down. And step 7, get creative. Put the Decarb CBD flower in recipes, drinks, or even oils. Most people's go-to is making canna butter, however, I usually opt for canna oil using coconut oil. Now you know all you need to know, you should definitely try it out for yourself. There are so many different methods and recipes that you can use for your decarb flower, so definitely try something out. Remember, CBD flowers are illegal in the UK, so don't go waving it around if you do manage to try it out. Try putting the Decarb CBD in a smoothie or maybe even some brownies. But to be honest with you, it is completely up to you. Be creative with it and make sure you have fun. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that bell button so that you can be notified when we drop our next video. Please also don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. That's it for this video. We will see you next time. Bye!